As I do each Tuesday, I'm going to take a moment to talk about gun violence in this state. We should all be sick and tired of picking up the newspaper and seeing the things that we see literally every single day. Our fellow Ohioans injured or killed through senseless violence. Since I last talked about this a week ago, at least 42 more people in Ohio were shot. More than half of them, 23 men, women, children, have died. Just this week, 23 lives cut short, 20 more families who are needlessly having to grieve. Tomorrow will mark 1 year since Senator Matt Dolan and I announced legislation to help local law enforcement, to help prosecutors, to help judges get tougher on those relatively small number of criminals who are responsible for most gun crimes. Convicted felons, convicted of a crime of violence, who illegally have guns. This legislation is still pending in front of the legislature. I again would ask the legislature to take action. Eric, let's look at some headlines. In the past week, two 15-year-old boys were killed. On Tuesday, and I quote, 15-year-old, one of the latest homicide victims in Columbus. Then on Thursday in Cleveland, 15-year-old boy found dead in field after being shot. It is an absolute tragedy. On Friday, this headline, 12-year-old boy shot in the face in Cleveland's Ohio City neighborhood. And Willowick police officer at home recovering after being shot during a traffic stop. Child that we were talking about survived, as did the Willowick police officer who was shot in the chest during a traffic stop. Reports say his bulletproof vest may have been what saved his life. Also Friday, headline, 25-year-old man fatally shot during fight at bar on Akron's east side, 2 in critical condition. Let's talk a little bit more about this case. According to reports, 1 person was shot and killed, 1 person was shot and critically injured, and a 3rd person was critically injured when she was hit by a car fleeing the scene. The alleged gunman was arrested a short time later. According to public records, this suspect is a convicted felon prohibited from having a gun. In fact, the suspect was caught illegally carrying a gun in the past and was sent back to prison, but for only 6 months. The reality is, oftentimes, convicted felons caught illegally carrying guns don't go to jail or don't go to prison very long. We have to change that. We need to give our judges, we need to give our prosecutors, we need to give our police more flexibility. Get this relatively small number of violent repeat offenders off our streets. The legislation we announced last October would give judges the authority to sentence a convicted felon to up to 8 years in prison the first time they're caught illegally possessing a gun. Up to the judge, but we give them that discretion. The possible sentence goes up to 11 years if they're caught with a gun again after that. This legislation is necessary. It will, in fact, save lives. I again ask the General Assembly to work with us. Take this measure, which we know, absolutely know, might not save every life, but it will save lives. There's no doubt about it.